What's up, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode number 463 of the Smark Moment Smack Talk Podcast Hot Tags edition of the week, where we're going to be breaking down some of the current events, gossip, rumors, news, and everything else that's gone down over the past few days in the world of pro wrestling that we feel like talking about. Not a whole lot this week, but hey, we gave you a dark cast last night and a bonus features, so we kind of covered some of these other things already. Who are we? I am your host, as always, Tony Mango, and as always, I've got with me Robert D. Felice.
Hey Tony, I feel like I just got finished talking to you. What are we doing here?
Talking Spider-Man, talking Ninja Turtles, talking Power Rangers. What's up,
Talking to
fanboys and fangirls?
95. I mean, it's very clear we're going back to 95.
Yeah.
Have we made any progress on that time machine?
If you have no idea what we're talking about, as I said, we did a dark cast and a bonus features combined, and that's up on the Patreon. So if you are not subscribed to the Patreon on the dark cast or higher tier, go ahead and do that. It's $10 a month, and you get access to, whatever special things that we got going on there, especially, now that we did one last night, you got a new fresh podcast that's like that. We're a little off the rails sometimes, mock drafting the 1995 WWF roster and everything. We figured out some of the stuff with Champsgiving that is set up for next week for the qualifying round, so stay tuned for that. But even if it's $1 that you're tossing our way through the Patreon, that's greatly appreciated, everybody. Anything that you do that helps us grow and helps us, kind of move into an upwards trajectory for this podcast, for this channel, for the Smart Moment brand, for Fanboys Anonymous, anything's awesome. And that includes just kind of taking part in the discussion. So while we go through these kind of topics, keep it in mind that we want to know what you have to say. So drop a comment below on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do that. And, hit that little notification bell as well when you're doing that. Hit the like button on the video because that helps out quite a bit. If you feel inclined, hit the applause button. That's another direct monetary donation here. And there's also, if you don't like the Patreon, but you want to do something very similar to the Patreon, there's the YouTube membership. Click join on that. You'll get access to the same kind of thing. It's, the Smarks Club. You got the Pick Your Poison tier where you can request something, or, you get the mailbag priority, any of that kind of stuff. Just keep that in mind. Very quickly, just because I figured, I'll get plugs out of the way super quick. I mentioned the fact that the bonus features is part of Fanboys Anonymous. And if you don't know what Fanboys Anonymous is, that is the sister site that talks about all the geek culture topics that are not pro wrestling related. So if you want more of that, head on over to fanboysanonymous.com. Show the same love to that podcast and that channel and everything over there. YouTube.com/fanboysanonymous, Patreon.com/fanboysanonymous. Hit up the Facebook and Twitter, just the same as you do here at Smark Moment. And there you go. There's most of the plugs out of the way, and we're only 3 minutes in, so that's awesome. What should we start with? Should we start with Tino, or should we start with PWI? What do you think?
Let's just start with PWI. I don't have much to say about that one, so let's just do that.
So the PWI top 100 women's wrestlers for 2020 came out. PWI, of course, does the PWI 500. They do the PWI 100 when it comes to the women. And the top of the list is Bayley for this year. Here's where the topic of discussion comes in. The rankings come in from October of last year to October of this year. So keep that in mind. And I can understand why Bayley's number one. I might disagree.
There should be no argument on Bayley.
I might disagree on her being this like amazing heel, or that the program was fun, or all these other things that I don't personally enjoy a whole lot. But realistically, she was the top person in the women's division in WWE, covering. Wow, I really pronounced the O on that one. Covering.
No, you were ready to go say COVID, and it
COVID, yeah. Coveting. Covering both the Raw and SmackDown rosters and a little bit of NXT as well. She won the tag team title. She's been champion for forever. So I get it. Like, I don't think that it's a bad choice. I might not think that her quality of work is as awesome as a lot of other people do, but I get her being number one.
Yeah. I believe Becky's number 2.
That I have an issue with.
Charlotte's number 3. Hold on. Sasha's number 5. I'm blanking on number 4, so if you want to save me, go ahead.
Asuka's number 3. And Charlotte's number 4. Sasha's number 5. Hikaru Shida is number 6. Number 7 is Tessa Blanchard. Number 8 is Riho. Number 9 is Io Shirai. And number 10, I don't know, Mayu Iwatani.
Mayu Iwatani. All right, let's just go here. Becky is great. I love Becky Lynch. I miss Becky Lynch. I miss Charlotte for that matter, and I'm in a minority, but I do. And Becky should not be number 2.
Becky should definitely not be number 2. I mean, like I said, this is October 2019 through October 2020. Becky has only been a part of WWE active through October at that point, through WrestleMania. From April onward, she's just completely MIA. So you mean to tell me that Becky missing all those months is still more valuable than Asuka? Because it's not like Asuka didn't do anything. Asuka won Money in the Bank and 2 Raw Women's Championships.
So I'll make this argument though. Becky coming out of October, she has a great Hell in a Cell match with Sasha. She competes in the main event of Survivor Series. I believe she main event all of the big 4. She did main event SummerSlam, right?
I don't remember actually.
She fought Natty in a submission, so no. But she did wrestle at Mania pregnant. She did do that. She did hold the title.
That shouldn't be like a positive on that though. That's dangerous.
I mean, Superwoman over here. She's a fucking badass. Nobody can take that away from her. And she's not number 2 though. Maybe top 10 for sure, but not number 2.
I could see making an argument for her being number 4, number 5, but Asuka goes over her in my mind. At the very least, Asuka beats her out.
If you have to have those 5 women be those 5 women, it's Bayley, Sasha, Asuka, Charlotte, Becky.
And that would make more sense to me too. Yeah.
Because Charlotte won her 12th Women's Championship. She competed on all 3 brands.
She won the Royal Rumble.
She won the Royal Rumble. That feels like 10 fucking years ago.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, got sidetracked. That happens. It's 2020. Yeah.
Sasha won the Raw Women's Championship and the Tag Team Championship.
And she's been on every fucking show. She's been carrying the women's division. But you gotta, no argument for me. It's been Bayley's year.
I don't see why Rhea Ripley is number 11. I think Rhea Ripley deserves to be higher. I think she deserves to be higher than Io Shirai. Io Shirai won the NXT Women's Championship. Sure. Rhea Ripley won the NXT Women's Championship, fought Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Technically she lost, but it's still WrestleMania match. And in the time frame, remember, it's October, so you also have to throw in there she beat everybody at War Games, and she won the Survivor Series match.
She beat fucking Shayna.
She beat Shayna. She is higher up on this list than Io Shirai. I'd put her above Riho.
Again, if you're determined to have those 5 be the 5, she's number 6. Period.
I'd put her above Hikaru Shida, yeah.
I'd put her above everybody in the goddamn AEW women's roster. Period. But it's okay. It's okay, Tony, because Triple H reiterated again tonight on a show that I'm sure you didn't watch, that in 5 years, Rhea Ripley will be the only person worth watching. So it is okay. Rhea Ripley will shine.
I also don't get why Shida is 6, Riho is 8, and Nyla Rose is 16. They've essentially all done the same thing.
Because Shida was champion the longest.
Shida's the champion the longest. Riho's the first, and she was champion the second longest. But not that much off from Nyla Rose, yet she's 8 spots away from Nyla Rose. To me, you bump...
Well, who are the 8 women in between?
Io Shirai, Iwatani, Rhea Ripley, Jordynne Grace, Shayna Baszler, Thunder Rosa, and Kimber Lee.
Nyla should at least be above Thunder Rosa and Kimber Lee.
And you bump Rhea Ripley up above Riho and all them, and then that gets Riho closer to Nyla Rose. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. I mean, it's a subjective list. So
to be clear, we are not women, so we were not asked to. I've never been asked to vote on any fucking thing. in wrestling journalism. I would be honored to if
You've been
anybody's
asked to
listening.
vote on the Smark Out Moment Awards.
Well, I yes, and I won a few. Thank you, by the way. I hope when I come to your wedding, you hand me an award. Like,
Yeah, I'll get one made up. Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I have a little bit of a problem with the way this list shakes out. But ultimately, the number one is the only one that matters. Let's not kid ourselves,
Right.
and it's a deserved Bailey.
Is there any other ones on this list that you think stand out? I mean, to me, once you start getting into like, Mia Yim was number 36, whereas Lacey Evans was 43. It's like, yeah,
Bro,
like you
like I
said, it's
don't.
like, who
I'll
cares?
be honest. Like I don't know anything beyond the top five. Like you're educating me. I didn't look at this whole list.
Uh, you know, number 100, Max the Impaler.
She's a big chick. She's big.
She's an
Uh,
Impaler, I guess.
yeah.
The whole bottom bunch.
Who's like 90? Give me a random number and maybe I know who they are.
90 is Nina Samuels.
I happen to know who that is. Poor
Yeah.
NXT UK. Unit Samuels.
Pick another random number.
28.
28 is Momo Watanabe.
35.
Lufisto.
Is she still wrestling?
Mm. Never seen a single match.
You're like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
I've heard the name.
45.
45 is Tony Storm, who is
What?
above Shotzi Blackheart, which I think Shotzi's higher than Tony.
Listen,
I'd
I
put
don't know.
Shotzi above Lacey. I'd put Shotzi over Nicole Savoy. I'd put Shotzi over Faye Jackson. I don't know who she is, so maybe I guess I
Now
wouldn't.
Callum's not here, so I'm gonna just do it. Sign Nicole Savoy, please. Thank you. Um, yeah, I don't know, man.
I think it's weird Shotzi's lower than Bea Priestley.
I think because we don't watch Stardom. I try to watch Stardom. It's just listen, guys. I watch enough wrestling as it is. I apologize. Like I would watch more women's wrestling if more was made available to me for free.
So Shotzi's 2 above Penelope Ford, who is only 3 above a male.
How's the male on this list? It's
The
the women's
fucking Mel
list.
do anything? She's NXT UK, and she's like done nothing this year, right? Like nothing at all. I mean, she's
Yep.
done nothing on NXT UK really, except for a job, like twice. And she's above Natalia and Sonya Deville
Hey, the world needs jobbers, Tony.
and Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, Naomi, Nia Jax. Nia Jax is number 69. Nia Jax, she won a championship, and she's lower than a male. What the fuck's a male doing? Liv Morgan's lower. Liv Morgan's 84.
Well, what does it say? You don't have the whole fucking diatribe in front of you, do you?
No, but
Oh.
figure it this way: Liv Morgan's 84. She's a spot lower than Indy Hartwell.
I would love to like talk to some of the people, but they'd probably get upset with me because I'm like, hey, so why did you do this? Well, what do you know? You know, it's like
Yeah, you don't know the greatness of a male. I'd be like, no, no, I don't.
I thought this was a woman's.
Yeah, that's gonna be the running joke for every single thing with that poor woman.
Yeah, we're gonna run it into the ground quick.
Like, it's gonna be that, and if she had it slightly like a different accent on it, it'd be like,
Vale.
you know the Mad TV skit where the one guy is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's like talking to a guy named Emil, like Emil, and he's like, "Hey, Emil, I had you for dinner last night."
I love that.
So a male is number 50 something, 51 or whatever, and suddenly it's like, all right, I guess you should pay attention to a male. All right, whatever. Merchandise shops. I'll plug that real quick. Why not?
Hell
TeePublic,
yeah.
Redbubble. Check them out.
Give
Fanboys
us money.
Anonymous.
I mean, what?
Fanboys Anonymous, A Mango Tees, Smark Out Moment. Pick up a shirt, pick up a duffel bag with the print on it, some stickers, pins. There's a whole lot of different products, and you can slap a whole bunch of different designs on them. So go ahead and browse the catalog, pick up something if you're interested. And if you are, you got my constant deep gratitude. Let's go to the Tino story. Tino Sabbatelli seems more and more likely. He is the guy that leaked the Eric Bischoff thing in AEW.
That's directly from Fightful. Yeah, Sean Ross Sapp reported that Tino Sabbatelli. It was back at the Performance Center. That was later confirmed by PWI, and it was basically like, hey, he's probably the guy who did that thing.
Seems like he's signed a new contract, according to
How do you
some
feel about
reports.
that?
I liked some of what I had seen of Tino. At the very least, I liked his theme, and he's got a good look to him. I don't know if he's gotten any better. I didn't really see too much of him in a long enough time that, of course, he could have gotten a lot better over the past year. I didn't bother watching the AEW Dark match that he was on. Certainly a bigger fan of him going back to being Tino Sabbatelli rather than Sabby.
Hey, he's
Not a fan
Sabby
of the Sabby
Pascatelli.
name.
What a name! That's his name, bro. Sabby Pascatelli.
Sabatino Pescatelli, right?
Sure. I mean, what
Because
is
that's where he
that?
gets the Tino. It's like he's mixing part of his first name and part of his last name. I think it's Sabatino Pescatelli. So it's Tino Sabbatelli. That's like if I were to take like the anth part of Anthony and then like the go part of Mango and be like,
I'm calling you Antango from now
I'm
on.
like, I'm Anthgo uh Mangoni? Manoni? Whatever it would be. I don't know.
Anthco
My
Manoni.
brain does not
Anthco
process
Manoni.
this.
You are now Anthco Manoni.
Anthco Manoni. There you go. Sweetie, that's who you're marrying is Anthco Manoni. um, I like some of what I had seen about Tino though, and it seems just weird though that if he's the one that leaked the AEW thing, was he just a mole at that point? Like, did they just say go over to AEW and spy on them and then come back and we'll give you another contract? Or did he
Well,
get try to go to AEW and had that whole situation happen and then calls back NXT and goes like, guys, look, I just burned my bridge. Can you please sign me?
mole, mole. What? Yeah, I don't know. He might have been a mole. Jericho made him sound like a mole. I mean, Jericho also called him an NXT reject. So who's the reject now? He's not rejected. He's back in the fold.
Reject or plant. It's just like, so it's something to pay attention to. I mean, he's back from his injury, so we could see him back in NXT, next week, even technically. Not going to be the biggest player, I think. I mean, it never really struck me as like a win away from a championship,
I
but
mean, he's
maybe.
savvy, He's savvy Piscopelli.
Savvy Peter Piper picked a peck of pepper tellies.
Exactly. As you can tell, listen. I'm sure he's good. I saw like a handful of things he's done, but I don't care. This isn't moving the needle, and I can say that on this podcast because it's a little more freeing. I don't care. Like, I hope he makes me care, but right now I don't.
Yep. So the last thing to talk about, because again, mentioned quick week.
I'll throw this in there real quick.
We
WWE
got something popping up now.
has interest in signing Ben Carter. Ben Carter has been everywhere lately, on Impact, on AEW, but it looks like he may be going to NXT, and more specifically NXT UK,
Huh.
because he's got a residential issue that kept him from getting paid in Ring of Honor, and that's also from my good friend and boss Sean Rossap. Um,
Where does he live?
I don't know where he's from because I only know that he trained with Rollins, so he clearly came to America to at least sharpen up his training
Hmm.
because he's from the Black and Brave Academy. I think just throw him on TV, he can be Rollins' disciple, you know?
If I he was the guy that fought was it Scorpio or was it Spears?
He fought Scorpio and then he fought
Cody?
on Dark, but no, he fought Scorpio on the Late Night Dynamite that you're thinking of.
All right, I think I might be merging some people together. I kind of vaguely remember he's got like dirty blonde hair.
Yeah.
Okay, I think whatever I had seen him in, I don't remember what match or whatever. I think I was like, oh, this guy seems kind of good. Like, just not. I mean, I wasn't paying super big attention to it, no matter
I
what.
mean, he's
So
gonna be good. He is good. Uh, while we're at it, somebody should sign Lee Moriarty. I watched him at the Collective, and you should sign him because he's fucking great.
Never fails. Ever since I've seen The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, every time somebody mentions anything about Moriarty, I always think of Sean Connery delivering the line, Moriarty. Just kind of like, it's always in my head. Literally every time. Can't get it out. And it's been, how long has that movie been out? Like 20 years?
Sounds
Awful
about
movie.
right.
Terrible movie. Don't watch it, anybody. um,
We'll
yeah,
watch it if you pay us to watch it, Ben.
yeah, technically speaking, that actually would probably make for a fun fan cast. So if you do want us to watch that for a fan cast, take advantage of the Pick Your Poison tier, Fanboys Anonymous. Let's go to the TV shows. Let's talk AEW Dynamite. I will fully admit this was one of those episodes where I had it on in the background, and the next thing I knew, a couple hours went by and it was gone, and I didn't see almost any of it. I saw bits and pieces here and there. Like, I watched the MJF promo because I always watch the MJF stuff. I thought it was funny that, like, my synopsis for it afterward was something along the lines of MJF handed Sammy Guevara a coat that doesn't fit him. He and Jericho are going to go out for a steak dinner tomorrow or next week or something. Like, seems like a weird lineup of stuff on the show, but I wasn't the biggest fan of that segment. I think it was just sort of a filler one. They needed to wait another week before they did something, I guess.
So I had such an issue with this, and I've talked about this on other podcasts. I do the Fightful Wednesday Night War podcast with Alex Pawlowski and Mr. Warren Hayes. Please check that out on Wednesday nights. I hated this, not because I don't think it'll be great. I just hated it because it's silly. And like it's the kind of silly that if WWE said to you, hey, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are gonna go out for a steak next SmackDown, what the fuck would you say? How many people would bitch? And yeah, listen, I got a comment on the Fightful thing that's like, well, that's a terrible excuse. I kept saying, well, if WWE did this, you'd complain. And I don't mean it. Like, yes, it's a lazy excuse, but it's the sentence that kept coming back into my mind because it's true. AEW gets a pass because they have a cool factor.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hate that. That being said, I'm looking forward to them eating steak. I'm not going to lie. There will be JR's barbecue sauce everywhere. There'll be a little bit of the bubbly. I mean, you should get Virgil should be the fucking
The waiter.
waiter or something. It'll be just do it. Just
The last time that they showed steak on AEW, it looked really fucking good. So if they can see place,
totally ate that fucking steak.
yeah,
And I still think about that steak sometimes. Is that weird? Yes, but I do. And steak is great. Tony, I would like to eat steak with you at one point. Maybe we'll charge people for it on the Patreon. And I said this, I made the same plug to Warren Hayes because I would love to be paid to eat a steak.
That'd be great.
Like that's the dream.
You know what else is a really good steak? Is the one in Captain America: The First Avenger. When God, what's his name? Tommy Lee Jones' character, he is given the steak to Arnim Zola. He offers it to him and he's like, oh, I'm a vegetarian, so then he starts eating the steak instead. And he's eating the potatoes, he's buttering the broccoli or whatever. When I went to see that movie in the theaters, the next day I'm like, I'm fucking eating steak. Like, I gotta do that.
Fantastic.
Steak night. Miro and Kip Sabian attacked Best Friends after Best Friends lost to FDR because the arcade cabinet was destroyed. It's just a thing. A lot of things are just a thing on this. Like Lee Johnson and Mashama Luda lose by submission. Oh, well,
I'm going to hammer this home on every podcast. Rusev was the last man to face John Cena in a traditional one-on-one wrestling match at WrestleMania. You have John Cena's last WrestleMania match under your umbrella, and you have this dude bug out over an arcade cabinet, and he says, good friends, you broke my shit. Like, tee-hee, I get it. You've got a Twitch. It's great. Everybody's embracing gaming. Everybody loves Twitch. I love Twitch. I love gamings. I love all of that. I want Rusev to beat the shit out of people. And yeah, he did that, but he should be doing that higher up on the card for better stakes.
More stakes?
Yeah, I gave you a chance.
I was drinking
Uh,
at the time.
more stakes, and it's one of those things. It's like, oh, this felt very TNA. Okay, a guy comes into the company, up yours, WWE, take that brass ring and shove it up your ass. Yeah, and then he's just a guy.
Yeah. And to be honest, yeah, I said before that I kind of skipped not paying too much attention to this kind of stuff. 'Cause I was tired. It's hard to watch both shows back to back and not feel exhausted. So I missed out on all the Tony Schiavone stuff.
Oh my god, best segment on the show. Tony Schiavone in a spa with Britt Baker. Tony Schiavone's great. He is legitimately one of the best, maybe Mount Rushmore of play-by-play guys. But like, this was fun.
Any big standouts from the title matches or Eddie Kingston attacking John Moxley afterward? Do you think we're getting Moxley versus Kingston just again at Full Gear?
Submission match.
Makes sense. And
it was
even though
like,
Orange Cassidy went to a time limit draw, it's Darby Allin who's going to fight Cody, the TNT title. Seems kind of weird.
I think Orange gets another match on the one before Full Gear. There was another one. Okay, like the picking the names out of a hat or throwing the names into a tumbler and deciding that that's how your tag team number one contenders match will be determined. Bro, you have a ranking system. Like, what the fuck?
They have the same ranking system that had the number
Yeah,
2
I know what
fighting
you're saying,
Hikaru Shida.
but like it doesn't. You have a ranking system, man. What do you mean you need to throw names into a tumbler to determine challengers?
Yeah.
I get. I'm hard on this company because I want them to be so good. You gotta understand something. We bitch because we care. Like, nobody wants to bitch for the sake of bitching. I think that's the laziest fucking excuse from fans to wrestlers to promoters whenever they want to defend something. It's, oh, well, you're just being negative. And you just don't want to let anybody have any fun. And that's not true at all. I'm not having fun. I want to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what you should do so that I can have fun. And I think it's fucking lazy when people are like, oh, come on, man. You're just negative. You just, what are you going to be? I get this one from my best friend a lot, and I love her, and she's teasing me, but she's like, oh, your 50 plus is showing. Why am I being equated to an old man? Because I want to see wrestlers do wrestling things on a wrestling show. How does that make me an old man?
The you're being negative just because you're being negative excuse is the excuse people have when they have no argument, but they just disagree with you.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
But here's a cool way to do this, to get around this. If you want to throw names into a tumbler. Hey, FTR, they beat SCU, they beat the Hybrid 2, and they beat Best Friends. Now that they've beaten their top challengers, we need to throw names into a tumbler of all the teams that aren't ranked. There you go. Let's solve your problem. Fix your life. Just say that. What? You have 3 announcers. Somebody spit that out of your mouth and you're good. Like, anything to add, Tony?
Nah.
All right.
For that matter,
nah, and I raised you a dag
yo. For that matter, nothing else to say about Raw. We already talked about pretty much everything when we did our draft review because it's the draft show, so we talked about the idea of I think we did. If we didn't,
hey, Lana won a match.
Lana won a match, and she's gonna lose to Asuka. So,
she'll beat Asuka just because they'll think it's funny.
Why not? Yeah. Nothing to say about 205 Live. We got Anthony Green and Kurt Stallion on there tonight. Other than that, it's just 205 Live. I think it's funny that WWE is reusing footage for the Thunderdome in the Capitol Wrestling Center. That's funny.
I'm surprised they haven't done that already.
Yeah, they probably already have, and they probably just finally got caught with it. I got nothing to say about NXT UK. This show just continues to prove itself to be superfluous.
No, we got to talk about Jordan Devlin.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he was on that. Yeah, he's declaring he's the number one true cruiserweight champion. He's back, that kind of thing.
People are pissed. I mean, this was a week. This was a week that WWE kind of dug their feet in the ground and said, listen, we're marching on, boys and girls. Yeah, we investigated. You don't like it? Too bad.
Yeah, it's just gonna be, I guess,
It is
hashtag
what it
fire Jordan Devlin all the time. Hashtag
Hashtag
Velveteen
fire
Dream all
Lars
the time.
Sullivan all the time. Hashtag fire Team Drew. Although, admittedly, people don't want to see Sullivan get fired. They just like it's just all piled up onto him, and now they just don't care.
Yeah, it's like, what is there to talk about when your show is Piper Niven beats Isla Dawn, Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith go, hey, you're wearing a shirt. Hey, you're wearing a shirt. Let's fight Eddie Daniels. Or Eddie Dennis, not Eddie Daniels.
If you were fighting Eddie Daniels, I bet they'd still win. Fuck Eddie Daniels, right?
Who's Eddie Daniels?
I don't know. Let's just go with it. Don't you like?
Yeah, it's not the most important thing in the world that Ilya Dragunov and Pete Dunne beat Walter and Wolf just because it's a tag match. Who cares? You know.
Say it like you mean it, Tony. Walter.
You mean the Ilya Dragunov? Because that's what they always say. I'm Andy Shepherd. Just flip it out. Yeah, Jinder. I know they haven't. He doesn't do the announcements anymore. It's Francesca Brown, but I miss that. NXT side of things, Finn Balor may be losing the NXT championship.
They're playing that shit fucking close.
Yeah,
to the vest.
That's he could be anywhere from a couple weeks to past Survivor Series. It seems like they're gonna just wait until they've got more of an answer, but I think if they wait too close to Survivor Series, it's gonna be a problem.
They're not doing. You keep going to Survivor Series. I don't know if they're doing that. I think like you can completely get away with not doing the brand warfare this year if you choose not to.
I mean, they still have the option of doing that stuff even if they don't have Balor. You could crown a new champion and have that person fight, especially it's Adam Cole.
Champion's gonna get hurt, Tony.
Well, yeah, I mean it's the curse of the NXT title going on right now, but like, you know, say you do like a battle royal and you get a new champion before Survivor Series or something, and it's like Adam Cole. Yeah, you put him in the match, he's gonna do fine. He's Adam Cole, but they're waiting and they're gonna take their sweet ass time. It seems.
I don't blame them. I would too.
Undisputed Era are the number one contenders to the tag titles.
Yeah, can we just go back to the Undisputed Era having everything? They're good. Well, don't ruin a good thing. Like, just fucking give them everything. They're the best thing you got. Just give them everything.
If they do need to have a new champion, I'd be cool with Kyle O'Reilly winning.
No, because Kyle O'Reilly should beat Damian Priest, and then, you know, Adam Cole can win the NXT title. Obviously, it's going to be revealed that Kyle paid off Rich Holland, right?
Kyle, you think?
That's got to be where they're going.
I would have thought maybe Roderick.
Yeah, but Roddy, whereas it used to seem like Roddy would break free, it seems like Roddy has slowly, especially after that dominating performance by Kyle, it seems like Kyle might be the chosen one.
I think Kyle as a babyface makes a lot of sense, though.
He does play that wicked air guitar, bro.
There was a guys, I forget who did the meme or whatever, but somebody posted something on Twitter or whatever that said when it came to the championships and they were like trading the Raw and the SmackDown tag titles, somebody posted something and it said Kyle O'Reilly looking at all those air guitars. It's like each belt's just like, look at that guitar.
I love him. He's great.
Jake Atlas beat Ashanti via Adonis. He teamed up with him afterward, and Isaiah Swerve Scott to temporarily fight off Legado del Fantasma. So I'm assuming we get a 6-man tag next week. Gargano beat Austin Theory. Tony Storm beat Aaliyah. Imperium beat Maverick and Killian Dane. We got a little further on with the Killian Dane and Drake Maverick thing where Dane said nobody can beat up Drake Maverick except for him.
Abusive relationship 101.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, hey,
And
hey, hey! I will protect you
yeah,
because I can hit you, not him.
and then they just start whistling. Um, Candice LeRae beat Shotzi Blackheart, so she's got another title shot. And Johnny Gargano is going to get a title shot against Damian Priest, who beat Dexter Lumis with a little bit of help from Cameron Grimes. And I like that guy more and more each week. Like this week, he stomps Dexter Lumis and he drops his hat in the process, and he has to grab it really quickly and then lay on the side of the apron. I'm like, I like this guy now. Okay, he's awful, but I like him. That kind of thing. Um, the whole Gargano way is going to potentially get title shots, but or they already have
I
title
love
shots.
it
Potentially
so
going to
well.
get titles, but it's going to be Shotzi is going to spin the wheel, make a deal, that whole kind of thing with gimmicks. And it's got Shotzi's choices on there. It's got like all sorts of Halloween Havoc type
No,
stuff
no,
because
no,
that's what
no,
is
no! You
happening.
gotta, you gotta break down this wheel. Have you seen the things that are on this wheel? There.
I never really looked 100%. Let's see.
All right, I'm gonna break down this wheel for you because it's got things that don't even actually exist are on there. The Chamber of Horrors match, which would see somebody get electrocuted in the electric chair. I mean, that's a thing. Buried Alive's on there.
Chamber of
Uh,
Farts, maybe.
the uh,
There's a coal
the
miner's glove on a pole match.
Gold Miners Glove on a Pole match, reference to the 1982 Halloween Havoc match with Jake the Snake and Sting. Um, it says TLS on there. And I swear to God, this might just be me, but the logo looks like swords. So I'm just going with tables, ladders, and swords. And I want that to just be a thing so that they can just start swinging swords at each other.
I don't see TLS on this one that I'm looking at. I see Trick or Street Fight, Blindfold, Casket, Chamber of Horrors, Coal Miner's Glove, Biker's Chain, Buried Alive, Devil's Playground, Boiler Room Brawl, Shotzi's Choice, and Weapons Wild match.
So which one do you think is obviously going to get picked? There's only two of them, and one of them's obviously going to be Shotzi's Choice, and the other one's obviously going to be fucking Trick or Treat, right? Because we can't have nice things.
Well,
Because you can't just
what are some of these other ones? Or what's the Devil's Playground match?
doesn't exist.
And what's the
The
Weapons
Devil's
Wild
Playground,
match?
Devil's Playground match. That's what JR used to call Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, and they're not going to do that.
And the logo for it is just like pitchforks on fire, and I'm like, okay, sure.
I'm assuming Trick or Street Fight,
Shotzi's
and
Choice for the
then
women.
Shotzi's Choice for the women, and Shotzi
It's just like
picks
it's a triple threat match, bitch. I'm in the match. Like you can do that,
maybe
right?
Weapons Wild, and it's literally just another Trick or Street Fight.
I'd be so pissed off, Tony. Don't do
Yeah.
that, Tony. Like, Tony, stop it.
Because it'd be weird if, like, Candice LeRae and Io Shirai are in a casket match, or a Buried Alive match. That wouldn't make any sense.
I'd fucking love that. Like, why can't they have a a tables, ladders, and swords match? Why not?
So, since we don't know what the Weapons Wild, the Chamber of Horrors, the way that WWE is going to do it necessarily, and
The Devil's
the Devil's
Playground.
Playground thing are, one of those and Trick or Street Fight, so that way they can just make up some kind of rules. The Devil's Playground match is going to be where Shotzi plays the part of the devil, and she can come in and interfere at any moment or something.
That's really silly, but I like that. I like that you thought of that on
On
the
the spot,
fly.
yeah. And she just wears, instead of the helmet, she wears a little devil horn thing. I don't know. I want to see some good quality matches. It could be a blindfold match. If it's good, it's good. It's all that matters to me is if it's good. I could see
Tell me again.
maybe.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is it good?
Nah, it sucks.
Oh.
I could see maybe them going with Priest and Gargano in a Bikers chain match.
Dude, WWE hasn't done a bikers chain match They only did one, and it was at the 2003 No Mercy, and it was basically a chain on a pole.
What was the Cena match?
They were chained together.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who's in the Bikers chain match at the 2003 No Mercy? Without Googling it?
Give me a hint.
Well, one of them is a biker, so which one would
Well,
it be?
Undertaker.
All right, and who is he facing?
2003. Maybe Kurt Angle.
If Undertaker was going to have a Bikers chain match today, who would he face?
Probably AJ Styles, but I don't know.
Brock Lesnar.
Wow. Well, that'd be kind of weird if they followed up with that kind of scenario. But I don't know. I mean, Halloween Havoc isn't even next week. Rhea Ripley and Miranda Gonzalez is another match they added just for the sake of having another match. We'll figure that out in 2 weeks. And on SmackDown tonight, we had the big old SmackDown premiere. It's the same as it pretty much always is.
Hold on. We were actually given a kickoff show, 7:30 on Fox.
Really? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I know you didn't know that. And it was hosted by Michael Cole. We got a brief cameo from Renee Young. Booker T was there as well. David Ortiz, the baseball player, cuts this wild ass promo on, yeah, Booker T, I'm gonna kick your ass and come step up to me, son. And it's like, and Triple H, who was on the thing later, is like, hey, call us. That was super awesome. We can do that.
You can kick Booker's ass. We'll book it.
Michael Cole said for the first time ever, about 5 times on the kickoff, that the Universal Championship would be defended. Rollins was there. He's like, yeah, the greater good's on SmackDown, blah, blah, blah. That's where Triple H was like, yeah, Rhea Ripley, 5 years. She's the one. I was like, okay, all right.
Not even have anything to do with SmackDown.
Well, no, Booker asked, which guy do you think will be like the top dog in 5 years? And Stephanie, who's there, cuts him off and goes, guy or girl? And Hunter just goes, yeah, guy or girl, because it's Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's the one. And it's like, wow. The girl is just the top. She's just the one. Like, honestly, she could probably be the one to wrestle and defeat men. She's the one, Tony. She's the chosen one.
She's Neo. She's the new Charlotte Flair in some ways without winning 20 championships. And she's also the one that lost to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. So, hey, look at that. WWE, you're really showing off that she's the one.
That's okay. Because I've never been more confident in anything. Like, I know a lot of people are like, well, when Triple H takes over. Yeah, I have confidence that when Triple H takes over, Rhea Ripley will be the one. Because he even said, like, she can man it at WrestleMania. Like, okay.
Wait until you see the unique way that they make her the one.
She shows up. I am the one. Okay.
And then they're like, yeah, see, look, she's won. See how we got there? Pretty interesting. Why don't you wait until the full story's done? Be like, oh, her full career? Okay. But we had Trips and Steph at the beginning of the night, just hyping the show. Led to a brawl. Lars Sullivan beats Jeff Hardy.
That was annoying because as a news reporter who was also like in the shower while that promo was being cut, I run out of the shower because I assume they're going to announce and we're going to have fans here starting next week. Because they had the whole roster on stage. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. They're going to announce people. And no, they just fought.
Nothing much going on there other than just that was the thing.
I did like that the New Day did their thing where they lift up Big E and they kind of, when they lift him up, he's got his legs split. And Stephanie just goes, guys, that's obscene, please.
Speaking of New Day, they had a great promo ahead of time talking about how this is potentially the last time the three of them are going to tag up, how much they mean to each other. Kofi's getting super pissed at himself for crying a lot. He's
Yeah, they
just
were
doing the
legit
whole.
crying a lot on this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that when he's just like, "Oh, I'm crying before a match," like he's kind of like, "Oh,
I
put it
th-
together," kind of thing, you know.
I think it's crazy that they're actually that emotional.
That makes sense to me. They beat
I'm
the Bar and Shinsuke Nakamura.
what could that's cold, Tony. For the love of God, Cesaro and Shinsuke were just tag team champions a week ago,
The
and you
Bar is more
clearly said the
important.
Bar and
Yeah,
Nakamura. Uh,
the Bar and Shinsuke. Why not? It's or the Artist Collective minus Sami Zayn, but with Sheamus. That's too much of a mouthful. The Bar and Shinsuke. And then the New Day like saying goodbye again to each other as if they're like leaving the company or something like that.
if
But I
they're
mean,
dying, like
yeah, but big fan of the New Day, so um
they finally get to wear their WrestleMania gear,
oh, that's what that was? They didn't register
the
to me.
the Nickelodeon gear.
Huh.
They had it for Mania. Big E's worn it a few times, but they finally were in a match where they could all wear it. Here's a fun aside about the New Day, because you don't listen to their podcast, even though I've told you that's the one that you need to put on in the background because they're just so much fun. Hornswoggle's on the podcast, and he basically they reveal that he was always supposed to be the anonymous Raw GM, but he was originally going to be revealed that he was actually like a smooth talking mobster, and he was going to be Big Nick from Jersey.
Jesus.
I
I don't know what's worse than what we got or that.
That would have been so good. Kofi was hysterical because he wanted so badly for it to happen. He's like, "No, you didn't embrace it. You didn't put on enough of the accent. You didn't. You could have been Big Nick from Jersey, and it would have been great." Yeah, I actually think by the end of it, because of Kofi's excitement, I would have wanted to have seen this.
Daniel Bryan comes out, he's all smiles. Because Daniel Bryan's always all smiles. Seth Rollins comes out after that. Bryan calls him
You want to
dumb.
hear? You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
They do their bit, and I type in the Fightful chat because Bryan beats Seth up and gets him out of the ring, and I'm like, and I message in the Fightful chat. I am so okay with them just forgetting about the Mysterio storyline, and not 1 second after I hit send, does Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio come out, and then Murphy comes out, and I'm like, God damn it! Like,
Yeah, me too.
I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Bryan and Rollins has never actually been a thing. They've never actually had a match together. I mean, they fought when he was in the Shield, but they'd never like feuded one-on-one.
And then they just keep up the Murphy stuff and
And what's his face? Michael Cole was like, yeah, Aaliyah. And I'm like, no, you have a chance to just let it go. Just let it go, and nobody will be mad.
speaking of Michael Cole, earlier in the night after the Jeff Hardy match, he said something about, and Jeff Jarrett's gonna whatever instead of Jeff Hardy.
Because Jeff Jarrett was in the Thunderdome, as was Brie Bella,
Keith Lee,
and
Goldberg,
later on in the night, Goldberg.
Mark
Now, I
Henry.
think this is smart. Why haven't they done this before?
Too busy collecting all the people that they could put on NXT and 205 Live. Gotta you build up a reserve for that, We wasted time with SmackDown tag team titles. Street Profits against Ziggler and Rude
That
just
was
ended up in a double
said.
DQ.
That was beautifully said. This is going to Hell in a Cell, and Street Profits will win.
And
I was so mad that Michael Cole was like, "Wow, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler are here. They're new to SmackDown." I'm like, you fuck.
we wasted more time again with the contract signing because Sasha Banks cuts bad promo and Bayley goes, "Well, I'm not signing the contract." So that was pretty pointless.
Sasha Banks looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a regular thing, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to say it.
And Roman Reigns beat Braun Strowman by submission.
This was cool because he choked him out with a guillotine, and I liked it.
And afterward, he just wails on him a lot with a chair.
He wails on him. He turns his back to Jey Uso, tells Jey Uso, be the man our family needs you to be, and beat the shit out of Braun Strowman with a chair. Jey Uso, who really should have just fucking cracked Roman in the back with a chair, refused to do that at first. And then Roman's like, I knew it. I knew you couldn't do it. Jey Uso smacks him, gives him a super kick, beats him up with a chair while saying, "I love you too." I thought that was great. Even better was that Roman got right the fuck up and Superman punched him in the mouth. Like, nope, you're not getting one up on me.
Yeah.
I loved this. This has been a flawless storyline executed to perfection. I think it's super weird that Jey Uso is such a star now that he is in the intro for SmackDown as
Yeah,
a
it's kind of
solo.
weird, isn't it?
But it's working. Yeah, sign me up. This would be the best match at Hell in a Cell.
I think there's a good chance. I mean, so far we don't know a whole lot of other matches on the card, but I'm digging it. So, not sure if I would have had Braun Strowman just lose for the sake of losing
We
instead of
totally
something
skipped
else. But
over fucking Lars Sullivan.
no, we talked about it. Lars Sullivan beat Jeff Hardy, and Cole called him Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, you know what else they did? I know this because Fightful wrote an article about it. They called him the Freak 22 times
Really?
in one segment.
Wow. And Triple H called him Super Freaky.
Oh yeah, he was just enjoying. Triple H is like, he's just gonna do his thing, and I appreciate it. I appreciate Triple H is at the point where he's just like, I don't care. Like, let's just go.
Other than that, that's the week.
Otis pushed Sami Zayn because he's never gonna go to court because they're just gonna put it off forever.
Yeah, and Sammy was like, "The fuck," that kind of thing.
Yep.
But not the strongest premiere. Not awful episode or anything. Just nothing really to talk too much about.
I don't like that you called it a premiere. Like, if it was actually supposed to be something major. I know they said it 50 times.
Right.
But like,
well, they'll do it for Raw next week too.
Oh yeah.
They've already been like the whole like, oh, the premiere of Raw or whatever. They do it every year at this point. It's used to it, but nothing. No title changes. No debuts. Just a video package for Bianca and regular matches. Another DQ, another no contest, another whatever, and yeah. Other than the draft, I mean, the draft was big this week, but then other than that, it's like, oh, John Cena got married. Huh. Well, not to Nikki Bella, that kind of thing. So
that was the most shocking news of the week because it came out of nowhere. Like, my friend just messages me, "Hey, he got married." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Mm-hmm.
Good for John. I hope he's happy. I hope, he's genuinely, found peace in his life. And I wish nothing but the best for him and the lady who probably married him for a multitude of reasons, but not the least of which being Cena is a lot easier to spell than what her last name is. And I understand. I would marry him too.
Yeah, that's it's 463. I can't think of anything else really to talk about. So I guess I did all my plugs. Yeah, I did all my plugs except for just to follow me at Tony Mango all over the place.
Wow, you can follow me at Dude Felice. Check out everything I'm doing on Fightful, WrestleZone, Smark Out Moment, but you're here, so you don't need me to tell you that.
Keep checking out Smark Out Moment though.
You could. I've been trying to get more people to check out Smark Out Moment because I'm doing cool things like Paul Heyman's SmackDown podcast, which will be the next thing dropping on this very feed, where Callum and I covered the Go Home show to No Mercy 2002. Caveat, if you want to listen to us talk about No Mercy 2002, you need to be subscribed to the Darkcast here on the Patreon, because not only will you get us talking about No Mercy, you're going to get us talking about Vengeance 2002, SummerSlam 2002, Unforgiven 2002, Global Warning 2002, and maybe even later this month, Rebellion 2002. But I'm more interested in you guys hearing Tony and I doing a full draft of the 1995 WWF roster. We made sense out of that at 3 in the morning. It was amazing. You should be subscribed to the Darkcast here, but even $1 goes a long way. And Tony's got a wedding, so let's get some subscriptions going.
I like the idea of the wedding fund, and
Yeah, I mean we are literally just like, it's the truth. He's got a wedding, so throw a buck
yeah,
our way.
weddings are expensive. I'd appreciate it. It's a wedding gift. Call it that.
That's right.
But yeah, just keep hanging out here. Keep checking out stuff on Smark at Moment, on Fanboys Anonymous, on all the things that we got going your way. The next thing for this next week is going to be Hell in a Cell predictions. So, pay-per-view point schedule, the regular kind of setup. Do the pay-per-view point predictions, do the hot tags, do the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast, and then do the pay-per-view point post-show. That's what we got coming up next week. And then the week after that, we're doing the AEW roster tier list, unless something absolutely crazy happens. And then we're going to roll along into the rest of November. Yeah.
Wow.
November already, almost. Crazy. Well, that's it for episode number 463. Thanks for listening to this, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We will see you next time, everyone. But for now, this has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.